Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about manifesting.
How you can get what you want consciously.
So first we're going to be talking about how we got into it. Just like a brief little introduction. Do you want to start first?
Okay, yeah. So how did I get into it? Years and years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was at a job I really, really hated. But at the time, I was a completely different person. I didn't know anything. I didn't consciously know that my thoughts created things. I used to watch this YouTuber all the time who he would always talk about the law of attraction, manifesting, and he'd always talk about The Secret as well, and I just had no idea like what he was talking about, but he would say little tips that if you think you can achieve, and like those little things I was like, oh okay, like cool. I would sit there all day applying for other jobs and never ever getting anywhere, and it wasn't until I had like an epiphany one day, and I was like, if my thoughts create things, then I need to think about what I want and eliminate everything I don't want, and then only work towards what I do want.
Yes, so focusing on the things that you do want.
Yeah, so when I was applying for jobs, I was so focused on the lack of everything else I had. I was so angry all the time. And then when I changed that, I was like, no, like I'm gonna be excited or think about, okay, like I want to work here. I'm going to apply for these type of jobs and only those type of jobs that align with what I want.
Yeah, and align with like who you are as a person and what you want and what's actually interesting to you.
So I remember I had an interview at the place I'm currently working at now, and I remember as soon as I stepped into the office, I was like, this is where I want to work and I need to make it happen.
Setting that intention.
Yeah, and just knowing that it's yours already as well. Like
that is my favorite.
Back then as well, like even though I was doing this, I guess more unconsciously, I was still, manifesting. I was still using the law of attraction, but I knew it was mine. I felt it was mine. Anyway, so I had my interview and I didn't get that job.
And what did you think after? Like,
I remember I was a bit upset, but I knew that was the place I was going to work. I don't know why I thought this or knew this. I just knew that was...
Like, haha, you're rejecting me now, but I'm going to get the job.
Yeah, basically. That's exactly what it was. Fast forward a couple of months after that, I emailed them again and I was like, I'm still looking. I'm still really interested for working in the company. Like, what do you have?
And like, damn.
Yeah. Well, instantly they replied and they're like, come in for an interview this week, and I did. And I just knew at that time. I felt so good about it, and I would just think about it all the time, and I would envision myself working for that company and all the things that I was going to achieve there. And I had my interview, and that day I got the job. And that's when it began to me, because I was like, wow, like I did this. I knew that it was going to be mine. I can achieve anything I want.
So it's that first time when you manifest something for the very first time, it's like it hits everything off. Like that's when it really starts. You're like, yes, this actually works. Yes.
Yeah, of course. And like, even though I wasn't, I guess, consciously doing it, I still had in the back of my mind, like when I was just watching YouTube videos here and there, like, think about the things that you want, or you attract what you want. Like those things were in my mind, but I wasn't like...
all that adds up.
Yeah, but I wasn't fully focused. So I started off with a book called Manifesting Change, and it was basically about manifesting the change that you want in your life. And through that book, it taught me how, I need to control my thoughts in order to attract what I want, and everything, whether you're conscious of it or not, is attraction. From then on it was just a journey to the most incredible life that I have always wanted in all aspects of my life.
That reminds me, I really like the saying like co-creating with the universe.
Yes.
So like you're in control, but also you're letting the universe control what's for you. So that's essentially like you're in control, but also everything happens for a reason.
Definitely. You choose what you want, and everything around you will work in your favor. It's all a mindset though. Like if you have doubt, if you don't even believe that what you want is going to happen, then it won't happen, because you're not vibrationally aligned to what it is that you want. You want a desire, you set the intention, and then you work on being a vibrational match to that, because you still have to do the work, especially in The Secret. It teaches you that you ask and you will receive. And yes, that is very true, but you ask, you do the work, and you receive. Like I do agree with you how you said that there might be a different plan, or everything happens for a reason. That is true. And I think when you are manifesting, going down a path of relaxing and knowing that everything that happens is happening for you, never against you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes there are times where you want something but you don't get it in that moment. You're like, oh my god, this isn't working. Like manifesting law of attraction doesn't work. But it's about always finding that balance. So you can get what is meant for you, but it's going to happen in the right time.
Yes, because everything is timing, and with the law of attraction or with manifesting, there's always a buffer of time. You know, a good example is like when you get pregnant, like you have 9 months to prepare for that.
Yeah.
You know, the baby grows inside of you, you grow, you mentally prepare, and then the baby comes out. And I know that's like weird, but it's you know, if I was like, I want this, and I'm not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
Then
you need to prepare
yeah,
yourself.
you need to prepare.
No,
And some things might take a lot more time than other things.
Longer. Because you're in the moment, you don't have perspective yet, you don't know what you need to be prepared for to get whatever it is that you want. And I also like the quote, you only can manifest things that are meant for you.
Yes, I completely agree. If something is not for you, it will never happen no matter what. But don't let that discourage you, because I truly believe that, you know, you set the intention, you want what you want, and you can get it, and then the journey begins to receiving that. What you need to learn, or how much, you know, you might need to change within your mindset, within the things that are surrounding. That's all dependent on you and how, I guess, quick you're learning. But we will get more into that. Why don't you tell me about how you started with manifesting?
So I actually started with The Secret, a lot of people.
Yes, it's a very popular book, movie. I guess it's a good one for beginners.
Yeah, it puts everything in layman's terms. So I watched it with my friend Karina, shout out Karina, when we were 10, when I was 10, and we were like, this, literally I was 10, she was 14, and we were just bored, we watched it, and we were like, this is dumb, this is stupid. And then when I was, how old was I? I was 21, so 2016, we kind of got onto the, like, it just popped up into our lives, like both of our lives. It was really weird. And she started sending me quotes about like the universe. We started getting more like wanting to be successful, and like we were really motivated in like what we wanted to do, so we would always hype each other up and like give each other inspiration. And so it naturally just flowed from like trying to get what we want into listening to the universe, and we sort of educated ourselves through The Secret first, and then I would go on to YouTube, and it was very gradual. So I didn't know a whole lot in 2016, and I would maybe do it like twice or 3 times a year. I started doing dream boards, and absolutely every single thing that like I put up on my dream board happened. I kind of forgot about manifesting until the dream boards came every new year, and I was like looking through the older ones, and I was like, oh my god, like literally everything happened. And so that's when it really verified it for me. I was like, oh my god, like this is a thing.
Yeah, of course. And I think like vision boards are great because you put it up there, you set the intention by putting it on there, and you forget how it's going to happen, and it just happens.
Yeah. I'm a very visual person, so it really worked well for that. And I'm like, okay, maybe this manifesting like law of attraction thing is a real thing. So I started looking more into it about like 2017, you know, making my way and like learning about it, because there is a lot to learn. It is a very deep and complex
Yes, and I think
subject.
Sometimes the deeper you get, the more complicated it can be. So staying with the basics is really, really great.
Yeah, but I think easing into it slowly is very good, because even listening to like the basic of like if someone's never heard of it before, it sounds like something that's like crazy. But what I told someone that was very like doubtful of it, this is like in the simplest terms that makes sense, and even he was like, okay, that makes sense. Literally, logically, like if you focus on what you want, you're going to get what you want. It is literally as simple as that. Like if you are angry all the time, logic, like it's not some like heebie-jeebie like universal like magical crap. Like it just logically makes sense. If you're angry at something, you're going to keep getting angry, and you're going to keep attracting that anger, and it's going to keep on coming to you. If you focus on a job that you want, you're going to get that job eventually. Like that's basically all that it is.
I completely agree. Someone once told me, and I thought this was really, really good, and I will share it. Look around the room that you're in at the moment, and focus on everything that is pink. And then she said, okay, now close your eyes and tell me everything that was blue. No one could say because they were so focused on the pink. She then went to explain that the pink is all the negative. It's the negative things that you're seeing. And whilst you're so focused on that, you didn't see the blue, which was the positive, which was everything else around. So once you're laser focused on something, you're not going to see everything outside of that. You're not going to see the bigger picture. If you switch your perspective onto the more positive, you'll attract more positive.
That's what you're going to attract, because that's what you see.
That's what you're focusing on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what you decide, what do you want to see? And I understand sometimes it's not that easy, but it's a great start to, just notice it and then do that and watch all the manifestations happen in your life of the things that you want, because your vibration raises and you're able to get the things that you want because you're looking at the bigger and better picture.
Yeah, I think it's definitely much harder for someone that has never heard of it before. But if you honestly just focus on at least one thing that makes you happy and literally just focus on that, see how your life changes. And if you steer your life into a more positive direction, you're going to be able to see more positive things. Yes. But I want to know, how do you manifest? Like, how do things work out for you?
I have been doing this for a very long time. Yeah. So I feel like, to me, right now, it comes very easy. I think
it comes naturally.
But that's how it should for everyone. Yeah. I think it's not supposed to be
that's the level you're like meant to be at. Like.
Well, I think it's not supposed to be, you know, this overcomplicated thing.
So in terms of law of attraction, I don't like scripting or affirming, because words don't do anything for me personally. Okay. But I know a lot of people that, like, it does work and it's like the most powerful thing ever. For me, it's visual.
So I think that it doesn't matter what you do. Yeah. It's all about changing your mindset about it. My biggest things is grateful for where I'm at, whilst working towards what I want to be, where I want to be. Because if you are hating everything, you know, how do you expect to receive more? No matter what situation you're in, gratitude, you have so much to be grateful for, even if it's like the fact that, you know, you're breathing and that's a blessing, because some people can't breathe. Little things, and I'm not for comparing like that, but, you know, really shifting the focus onto what you do have and how you can amplify that rather than what you don't have. So that's my number one. Number two is be clear about what I want. So what do I want?
Intention.
Yeah, intention. And break it down. So if it's like, I want to become a billionaire. Yeah, that's great. Like, good. And you can become a billionaire. But what do you want in order to become that billionaire?
Kylie Jenner, I'm coming for you.
Hey, seriously though, like,
hey.
Because we can.
We can do it.
Yeah, we can. But then, so like setting the intention. So, okay, I want to become a billionaire. In what way do you want to become a billionaire? What kind of path do you want to? Yeah, and I know I mentioned earlier that it's not your job to figure out how or the why or the whatever, you know, but, you know, being clear, because it's so broad. I want to be a billionaire. What are you going to do to become that billionaire?
Yeah, so break it down into steps.
Yeah, break it down into smaller steps, and then setting the intention, putting it out there, asking for it. So whether that be, if you're religious, whether that be through prayer, whether that you just ask a higher power. Say, okay, you know, wouldn't it be nice if I had this, or I would like this. And then next step is being open to receiving. And this is where your mindset really matters in this sense. So being open, because once you set the intention, once you ask, once you affirm that, yes, this is what I want and I want to consciously create this for my life, you need to be open to receiving all the guidance that is going to come to you. And
be open, yeah.
Yes, and that's when your mindset plays the biggest role. I mean, the only role, you know, it's all a mindset game. So switching your perspective, you know, looking forward to the things that are coming to you, changing from, oh, I wish I had this, oh, you know, it'll never happen to me.
Exactly.
You know, just switching that focus and trying to believe it, you know, as well, that, you know, this is happening for me. I can't wait until I receive it. Thank you for bringing this to me, and watch everything align for you. You'll start to notice that you're always at the right time, right place at the right time. Your conversations with people switch because you're aligning with that. You're slowly bringing up your vibration to match what it is that you want. You're gonna bump into people who just so happen to you know, maybe be a billionaire, maybe have the things that you want, and they'll teach you something valuable.
Because you're open to it. And if you were negative, maybe you would have found that person, but you just maybe didn't ask.
Yeah, you blocked it. You blocked it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and because it is, once you're open, you know, and start small. I think one thing that's really helped me is start small. Start with my favorite one, and this I still use it all the time, just to refocus, is a free cup of coffee. It is so easy.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you love that.
I do love that. And I'm not even talking about like a loyalty card, like where you've got a loyalty card and you want, you know, you're up to the free coffee. I mean, that works too. But I mean, like, really, like, asking for a free cup of coffee.
It's good practice.
It is good practice.
And just that it works.
Yeah, and like,
it does work.
It does work. And I literally got, like, every week I get free coffees.
She keeps messaging me being like, I got another free coffee.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Because I ask, and I don't even worry about how it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen.
Because small or large, it's all the same.
It is. That is very true. Yes. And
it's just your perspective on it being small or big that is in the way. Like, you are in your own way, essentially.
Most definitely. And I think the reason I say start with something smaller is because it's more realistic to you at the moment. So right now, if I told you, you can be a billionaire. Don't worry about how it's going to happen if you just set the intention and go. And then it doesn't happen within, you know, a certain time frame. You lose hope, you lose trust, or you think that manifesting doesn't work. Whereas things like that might take a little bit longer, and that's where the trust process really, really kicks in. So starting smaller and building those things up little by little, it builds your trust. You get more excited, you get, you know, happy, you're like, oh, this does work, and then you try something different, and you build on that.
The more it builds up, the more you're like, yes, let's keep going. And you start believing it.
You have momentum.
It's the same thing as like, if you keep on talking negatively, then that's all that you're going to keep attracting. So if you literally start by just talking positively about yourself. Like, that's what I definitely noticed for myself. Like, when I was in uni, I would non-stop talk shit about myself, about assignments, and I hated it. And I had a friend, and we were both really negative at the time, and that's when it just, like, have you noticed that one bad thing happens and everything comes to you that's bad? It's because you're attracting that bad, because in your head you're like, oh my god, this is happening to me. And it's really hard to break. Like, I still have my moments where I'm like,
of course,
and everyone has it. So when I stopped talking negatively, and literally, even if I didn't believe it, and I just stopped, like, not even started talking positively, I just didn't say out loud anything negative, it like dulled down by so much, and that really helped. And the more you start talking positively, like, positive things come to you.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, like, to begin with, especially if you are such a negative or angry person, because I was definitely the most negative, angry person that I ever knew, like, in my life. I wasn't very pleasant. So changing it to begin with is sometimes not as easy, because you're in the habit, and when you have a habit of things, you know, it's on autopilot. You don't even think about it. So once you're aware, okay, maybe I am a little bit negative. Maybe there are things that you can change. You will be conscious of the negative thoughts that you're having, and slowly you'll be able to change those into positive ones. And like Rita was saying, you know, just not saying it out loud, you know, really helps, because you're conscious and you're putting in the effort, and
it helps
slowly. That'll quiet, and the thoughts that you want to have will come back, and that will be your new normal.
Yeah. So I agree with, like, absolutely everything that you said.
Yeah.
Like, I think also the best thing after all of those things, like, gratitude, oh my god, like, number one on the list. Like, how are you going to get something, like, that you want if you're not grateful for what you have right now? Intention is amazing, and I think also just being consistent about it. If you forget about it and kind of steer off, and you go back to your default, it's a bit harder to shift into that vibration of, like, a higher vibration where you're able to catch the good things that you want. So it's a matter of remembering what it is that you want and constantly reminding yourself. Because for me, I know that I get caught up in, like, life and, like, different things, and I forget my goals or what I want, and then I go back to my default. And so if I always remind myself and visualize and affirm and just keep on looking back at my goals, then it is also the, like, best thing for manifesting and getting what you want.
Yeah, I agree. And this is why I was saying at the beginning, The Secret, it teaches you that you ask and you receive. But in The Secret, it doesn't talk much about the action that you need to take. And I think that you have such a big point. Like, if you're not actively, you know, doing the things that you need to do, then you do slip back into your default, and then you might wonder, well, why isn't this happening? It's because you're not taking the action part. Whether that be, you know, the action part might just be raising your vibration, so consciously affirming, being excited for your goals, being open. If it's like jobs, like applying for another job, or, you know, doing those things consistently, and then it will come to you. So I agree completely with that.
I love your point of being at a vibrational match to something. So I loved how you explained to me that if you're on a lower vibration, there are things at the top. Explain that.
What you want is on one level, and you're on another level, and all that you want is right above you, moving. It's moving forward, and you're missing it because you're down here, you're at a lower vibration. So in order to catch the things that you want, you need to tune, you know, into the same vibrational match as it. And so as they're flowing this way, we are on top, you're able to grab it. You're able to grab it, and you're able to get it. And so when you're out of alignment, you drop back down, and the things that you want flow right above you, right over you.
You keep missing them.
Yeah, you keep missing them because you're not on tune with that. And that's, you know, where the growth is, or that's why sometimes there is a little bit of buffer of time, because you need to work your way up to that frequency. Another one is radio stations. If you're listening to AM radio and you want to be at FM radio, you need to change the frequency, you need to change the station. How can you expect to be receiving the FM radio signal if you're tuned into AM? So it's similar in a sense of where you want to be, you need to be a vibrational match to that in order to be on the same level. Otherwise, if you're stuck in one frequency, one vibration, you won't hear, or you'll miss
or see what
the other frequency, the other station, the things that you want are over there on one frequency. You need to match up with that on that same frequency.
It's literally as easy as like, oh, I'm not gonna get that job, like you're not deserving of it, or I'm not, and it's just you're literally saying no before you can even give yourself the chance of getting it.
Definitely. And I think believing as well, or having hope, is where it really
I love that. Hope is very important.
Yes, it is.
So how do you get onto that vibration?
I think, the most important thing is being aware of what doesn't serve you and what does serve you to begin with. It's all a mindset. It's all about what you're thinking and aligning your thoughts to how you're feeling. So thinking good thoughts in order to feel good, in order to receive good. To do that, I think to start with, you need to be aware of the thoughts that you're having and what doesn't serve you. Why would you think, I'm not going to get this? That's very doubtful. It makes you feel bad. But what makes you feel good? Yeah, like I'm going to get this. I'm excited to receive this. I trust that I will have this. Even if it takes a little bit of time for you to believe it, like I said before, start a little bit smaller and with a coffee. Or think of like a red balloon, and just, if you never see red balloons, just starting with something maybe smaller that you never see or that never really happens, and then trying with that and being excited to receive it, to see it, to get it, and shifting the switch from I'm not going to, I never will, I can't, this doesn't work, it doesn't happen, to all the negative talk that you have, to this is happening for me.
It would be nice to...
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
I would love that.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have this?
At least just not having that negative thought process, I think, is the easiest shift that you can make. Also, surrounding yourself with the right people. Like,
this is a massive one.
This is a whole other topic.
In a short period, what you think, like, surrounding yourself with the right people does to manifesting?
I didn't believe in that at all. I was
too.
Like, I'm going to hang out with whoever I want to hang out with because, like, we have memories. Like, I really like these people.
Yes.
But it's only when you start hanging out with the people that are positive and not only want the good for themselves but want the best for you and are constantly encouraging you. Like, honestly, even if you have one person that is so inspirational and just wants what you want, and you guys are working together, or you guys are encouraging each other, like, you feel absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful thing.
It is so powerful being around the people who lift you up. The whole point is you want to feel good, you want to be happy, you want to have the things that you desire, and you want to live the life that you want. So I think that is the whole point of everything.
I think ultimately the most important aspect of manifesting and law of attraction is gratitude and consistency and being on a high vibration. That, like, those three are like the powerhouses.
Yeah, and I might also add to that is setting an intention, affirming it, asking for it, and then
putting in the action. This is another thing. This is why a lot of people are doubtful of law of attraction. They think like, oh, so you're just going to wish for it and it's going to come to you. That's bullshit. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, yes, of course you have to put in the action, but how are you going to put in the action if you're not there? Like, you're not in the mental space of doing it.
Most definitely. And I think that this is not to say that, good things won't happen to you if you're not conscious or you're not feeling good, because of course good things are always going to happen to you. But I think manifesting law of attraction and the whole mindset around it is consciously creating the life that you want rather than letting life happen to you.
Exactly.
And so, to your point, you're not going to just sit there and wait for it to come to you. You need to put in the action, but you're working with the higher powers.
You are co-creating with the universe.
You are co-creating and you're allowing it to come in. And so, I think you're right. Gratitude, intention and action, consistency, and being on a high vibration are the most important things for attracting a life that you really, really want and really desire.
When you put all of these things, it's like little pieces of the puzzle. If you put all of them together, your life is going to be completely different and you're going to be unstoppable. See you guys.
Bye. that was good.
Okay, thumbnail.